What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol CHWY for Chewy Inc. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, this will, of course, be an update. We talked about it in the pre-market, or post-market, rather, before the earnings announcement, or as it was coming out, right, talking about the gap rules that would be in play for Friday. Obviously, we made a bit of a move higher and held the opening price really, really well. So let's go ahead and adjust some of these levels. Obviously, we don't really need all of them in play anymore, and we'll learn a lot more from the 30-minute as well. Still underneath us, I want you to remember that we do have 45.18 if we start breaking down underneath. Let's grab the other tool here, the low of Friday, which is at $50 and, or let's just call it 50 even. Technically, it's $50.05. So with that out of the way, I would also point out the remainder of the gap overhead. If we take out Friday's high at 53.42, expect the remainder to fill up towards 56 even. Don't forget, though, we are in a fairly aggressive downtrend. It's just a matter of asking yourself the question, is this a bit of a dead cat bounce? Once we get here, will we get the gap fill reversal? So be on the lookout for inverted hammers or even just fat body doji candles, basically things that make you question, right? Are the buyers losing steam here? Was it just a little bit of an oversold bounce? Could we roll over, flip short under the lows, and then start retargeting some of these downside levels? That would be an area, in my estimation, to really keep an eye on. So the gap fill at 56 here from the daily perspective. Let's take a closer look at the 30-minute now, just to see how Friday really unfolded. How was the price action? Were the buyers in control the whole time? Were the sellers getting an edge? And I would say it was fairly choppy. I mean, if you look at the activity straight higher out of the gates, giving it all back and some, making that low of day, and then retracing and sort of consolidating, right? This would lead me to sort of start thinking about patterns like this, right? Symmetrical triangles, wedges, whatever you want to call them. You could get a little bit of a foreshadowing by, again, if you get the break of the resistance trend line, maybe we move to the high of day from Friday. That would be at your 53.42. Maybe if you get the breakdown of the support trend line, you start looking at this and potentially 45 on a larger breakdown of $50 even. So that's how I would start to tackle this one. If we take out the Fibonacci's here and just come in from the low of the day, we'll just grab the entire day's range here. And we always talk in terms of sections, right? So this would be section 1 up here. Section 2 is technically between your 38.2 and the 61.8, and section 3 is down here. Obviously, we closed in the middle, right? We're really struggling to get any acceptance above in zone number 1, so that might be a slightly more bearish indication, right? There was no acceptance up here. The majority of the day's acceptance was actually underneath your 38.2, and I would even argue there was a decent amount of acceptance underneath the 61.8. So it doesn't look fantastic here, but I would exercise some patience inside of Chewy, not short it aggressively until, again, we either get the breakdown of the 50 area or on some sort of like failed attempt here and a rotation back down, right? On some instance like that, where you start printing inverted hammers here and there's just a clear lack of strength into the gap overhead, maybe there's an opportunity to trade short. Stop goes over the highs of whatever that candle at prints is, looking for that rollover back down towards $50. Okay, so those are a couple of ideas here inside of Chewy. Hopefully by looking at the 30-minute and through the lens of Fibonacci, you got the sense that the chart isn't abundantly strong. Obviously, it's holding a majority of the gap down. A lot of the price action was beneath the 38.2. However, again, patience, because if you do get the break over the 38.2 and move into the gap, it could set something up for the fill at 56. Okay, so those are really the two big scenarios to watch out for. Where do we accept? Do we move into the gap or not? And if we don't, 50 will turn into a big breakdown point. So that's going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it or learned anything new today, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.